Hey, hey. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Okay. Today is Wednesday. And we're live again. Okay? Okay. So, how's everyone doing? Hope you're having a great Wednesday, halfway through the week. Pretty good. We're closer to Friday. So, okay. So today a new stream. We're going to be working on Voyager as always, and we are working on, you can see the current tasks here. This is basically what we have been doing, okay? In fact, I will just remove whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to remove all of this. Well, all of this, I'm going to remove that, okay? Okay. And that's basically what we have to do, okay? So, in fact, here I'm just going to say planetary system scene. And that's all. So, we have been working a lot on this, okay, on this system. Let me show you really quick what we have already done, basically. So, as you can see, every time I hit play, you can see the minimap here, okay? And every time I hit play, you can see that basically a new planetary system is generated, because you can see how each planet is on a different position, and sometimes there's 4 planets, sometimes there are 3 planets, okay? I'm going to hit play. Now, 3 and 4 planets is going to be the most common number for stars, okay? For the amount of planets that a star can have. They can have between 1 and 4. And this is the most amount of planets it can have, and the most common amount is between 3 and 4, okay? Then if you find a star that has 2 planets or 1 planet even, that's going to be a really uncommon star, okay? That's the idea. So now you can see every time I hit play here, you're going to see in the planetary system map that the planets are going to be in a random position, okay? So every time I hit play, a new star is created with all of the data that needs to be created along with the star. And that is basically the star properties, the planetary system properties, okay? Planetary system properties are the properties that define how many planets there are, and then the properties of the actual planets, okay? So the planets have their own properties, such as which orbit each one is on, at which position in the orbit they are in, okay? In fact, I'm going to do something here just to debug, okay? Just to do some debugging, because I want to show you this, but maybe like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to say update. In fact, I'm going to say editor if Unity editor. Okay, and then I'm going to say public, not public, update. Okay. And then here I want to have another thing here that's called editor. Okay. I'm going to say, I'm going to put it like below everything. And here I'm going to say serialized field, bool editor, manual planet position. And then Okay, so what am I doing with this? I'm basically defining some variables so that I can go to the inspector and check this variable and basically change the position of the planet, okay, manually with this thing, okay, which is going to be a slider that goes from 0 to 1, okay. And I'm going to show you what this is. Okay, let me show you really quick this. And this is going to be really useful just to for debugging stuff, okay? Okay, so if I hit play now and I go to the orbits object, let me show you really quick here in the UI, because this is a UI element. It's inside a canvas, okay? So now orbits. You can see like I have 4 orbits. Those are the 4 orbits that are for each of the 4 planets that there can be in a star. But if there's something like 3 planets, okay, then maybe one of the things here is not there. But that doesn't look right because it's it has to happen like a runtime. Everything is defined at runtime, okay? So now if I move this slider, which is the thing I was talking about, is not working, but if I check this thing, now you can see that the planet in the 3rd orbit is going to follow the position that I'm telling it to, okay? So you can see here, maybe here is a bit more, it's a bit easier to see, but here, like as you can see, this slider is basically going to determine the position of the planet along the orbit, okay? And that's amazing. That's pretty good, okay? And that's one of the things we did, okay? Where I did like a formula thanks to the help of Ciala, which is a viewer that sometimes is here. But I also did have that formula before, like in my library. I have a library for like a couple things, but it was not perfect. So he helped me, or they helped me polish that formula, okay? So thanks to that, we can now just set a value between 0 and 1 to define the position of the planet. And that's really cool, because otherwise I would have to do something like, oh yeah, so if I want this planet to be there, I have to set it to -7.7, 8.7 and 6.8, which is dumb to think it like that. So now this happens automatically, okay? So now I can grab this and I can position. So the only thing I need to do is just grab a number between 0 and 1 and just pass it so that the planet is positioned in the orbit, okay? Along the orbit. Okay, so there's that. That's one of the things we did. But also, let me just restart this so we can have everything correctly. Also, the other thing we did was, and this was the last thing I did in the previous stream, was this. Let me show you real quick. So I have all of the planets here, okay? So you can see there's the 4 planets that can be in the space, okay? But depending on how many planets there are, there's going to be enabled like the correct amount. Since this star has 4 planets, then like all of them are active. And you can see here, they are like pretty far away, okay? They are really far away. Really far away. So what does that mean? as you can see, like if you, I don't know if you can tell by this, but if you see the actual positions of the planets here, it relates perfectly to the actual position of the planets. Okay, so this one is basically this. Then we have one like up here, and that one is this. Okay, so that relates perfectly, being like the star being the center of the scene. So that's something that we also did for this, okay, for this thing, okay. So that's pretty much working. That's amazing. Now there's a couple things that are well, there's one bug, okay, that I'm going to try to solve right now. But also there's another thing that's that we need to do, which is of course tracking the players' positions, and all of that is here. Okay, fix players. Fix planet sprite shader being repeated on all planets. Okay, that's the bug. Let me show you really quick what I'm talking about in that thing. So you can see this is one of the planets. It's really interesting. Okay, really cool. But then we have this one. This is another one, and then this is the other one, and then this is the other one. Okay, so what's happening? All of the planets have the exact same shader applied. I don't know why. So oh, I think I might know what's happening. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Maybe it's the pixelator system. So we can start by checking that. But the other task is basically finish implementing the planetary system map. We're not going to finish completely the map because I also want to track some like points of interest. Okay, so maybe here in the minimap. Okay, here. In addition to seeing the position of the planets, you could also see the, I don't know, maybe some points of interest that have some kind of, I don't know. We'll see what I can do. I think I'm going to have to I don't know, to make like little drawings to represent things, I think. But this is a really big space. So yeah. Okay, so that's great. Now, okay, so let's see. This is the Planet Sprite Pixelator Bake, okay? But the actual sprite is, where is here? I think it's here, Planet Sprite. Okay, yeah, you can see there. Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, so the camera is only seeing one of them. But that is like completely on top of this, like on the same thing. That's interesting. So there's like, that's a flaw of like how the pixelator system works. Okay, pixelator quad. What the hell is happening here? 2000. pixelator bake. Oh. Okay, if I set it to 2000 there. Okay, there and there and there. Maybe now the planets look different. I don't know. Yeah, they do look, well, kind of. Oh yeah, because I set them all to 2000. I'm so dumb. So yeah, now all of the planets look different. Okay, so if I go to this one is that, this one is that, this one is that, and this one is that. Okay. Okay, amazing. So to fix this, what do I need to do? What the hell, bro? So let's see. Pixelator bake. Okay, let me just do this. Now, pixelator bake result sprite. So custom pixel resolution -1. So let's see the code for this. Pixelator bake. Let's see. Okay, so let me quickly explain what the pixelator system is. So the pixelator system, of course, as the name suggests, is basically pixelating things on screen, okay? So right now what I'm doing, okay, is just grabbing the this is what I'm doing. I basically have the script. I have a pixelator system which is like another whole system that does another thing, but the same thing. I don't know how to explain it, but the pixelator system is for pixelating stuff on screen, okay? And for example, planets are not pixelated because they are using shader, and I'm not pixelating the shader. I'm basically just exporting, like not exporting, but making the shader as it is, and then I'm using this system to make it pixelated. Okay, that's the thing I'm doing now. This pixelator bake in particular is doing something different because I was using like a really complex system that didn't work, because when you were scrolling the camera, the pixels were like very glitchy, and I didn't like that. So I did this one, which is basically for each object that needs like a pixelator or to be pixelated, I add a prefab that contains this and just add like a sorry, I'm eating like these things like nuts and stuff, and it messes up my throat, so I can barely talk. Give me one moment. Okay. Basically, this system grabs the target sprite. I had a reference to the target sprite that I want to pixelate, and then it instantiates, well, it has a camera, so it grabs the camera, creates a render texture out of the camera, and then passes that texture to a new sprite that then replaces the actual sprite that's there in the world space. And the real sprite that was not pixelated is in like a very, very, very far position in world space, okay? Okay, so there's that. Okay. Now, the thing is, the thing is that it is separating them. So the simple way of explaining this is that, like, when you hit play, that sprite has a thing that replaces that sprite, like move the original sprite is moved like really far away, and then a new sprite is set here that's pixelated. And the sprite that's really far away has a camera that's looking at it all the time and renders that to a texture that gets pixelated, and that goes to the actual sprite that you see in the camera, okay? But the thing is, when I'm moving the sprites like away, I'm using the sorting order for this, which is not great because there, like in this instance, you can see that already we have a problem, because what's happening if the 4 planets that are in the scene, the 4 of them have this system, okay, the pixelator bake. But the thing is, they are like the 4 of all of the planets are in the same sorting order, okay? So they are going to be always in the same position, okay? And that's not great. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So so yeah, that's basically what's the issue, okay? Okay. That's basically the issue. Now, there's another issue in seeing here it's basically positioning it in vector 3.up is basically 0, 1, 0. So it's positioning it in like, hey Lou, hey, how you doing? Hey. So this is setting the actual, like, the position is going to be well, it was like this before. And that means that it's going to be positioned in, like, for example, if the sorting order is 0 or whatever, below 1 is going to be 1, but then it's going to be 1000, and then if the sorting order is, I don't know, 2, is going to be 2000, okay? So that's not great, because in reality I need them to be like really far away, and actually, like, the scene, the space scene is really big. So I need to say, for example, something like 5000, and instead of multiplying this by the sorting order, I'm going to add, like, let's say 100 multiplied by that, okay? It's going to be much better. Now, why is this not working? Oh yeah, because I need to do this. Okay, so now it's going to be positioned at 5000, and it's going to add 100 multiplied by this. Okay, and in fact, I should always do that. Oh, well, maybe that's also not good, because if the sorting order is negative, I don't think I'll ever use negative sorting orders, okay, the positions, because like I shouldn't use that. But in the case I do use it, well, I don't know, maybe I should do this. And maybe 100 is a lot, so maybe I can say 50. Nothing can be, in fact, like nothing can be like bigger than 50 units, I believe, because 50 units is like 50 is like 5,000 pixels. I'm never going to do something that big ever in one sprite that also needs to be pixelated. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's really dumb. So yeah, 50 is pretty good. In fact, I could use 10 even, because 10 is 10 1000. I don't know, maybe I should use 50 to be completely safe, and I could even use 100 to be even more safe. But I think that's pretty much good. I don't think I should I need to do anything else, so that's perfect. Now that's great. Now there's another issue, which is that each one of this now this is only checking for the sorting layer of the planet, okay? And all of these are in the same sorting layer, and like that's not great, because they should be like in a different, like not for the visual thing, because I don't think, well, it can happen that you have like two planets overlap, but I think I'm going to, well, no, that can't happen at all. You are never going to see like a planet overlapping with another one, unless there's a planet that has a moon or two moons or whatever. But they should never overlap, because they are like, the orbits are really far away from each other, okay? Like at most you would see like maybe when you're on a planet, you could see in the background like two planets overlapping like this. But when you're in space, no, that can't happen, okay? Because it's going to be let me show you really quick in the document. Not here. It's going to be here. Boards. It's going to be planetary system V2. Okay, so here, this is a really good representation of how this scene is going to be structured, okay? The actual orbits are going to be invisible. You're not going to see the orbits, okay? Because I don't know, it doesn't add anything to the game. But this is your starship, and this is how the planets are going to be positioned. And in fact, this is a lot bigger. This is a lot bigger. So in reality, planets are not going to be this big, I think. No, they're not going to be this big. So it doesn't matter if the planet is like this, you're not going to see them close, because in reality, there's a lot of distance between like each one of the orbits, okay? There's like a 750 units between each orbit, okay? That's the radius of each orbit, and that means that like for them to be close or to overlap, it would mean that one planet would need to be divided by 100 is so it would mean that a planet would need to be 75,000 pixels big, okay? Doesn't make any sense. So So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to explain, okay? Okay, so let's go back to this. Now, how can I solve this? Well, I derailed because I was explaining why I'm not using this for the visual aspect of between each planet, because I could change the number here, but I'm using that to order the objects that are in the certain, like in a certain background plane. Okay, so that's the idea. So that there's that. So I don't really want to change this because, for example, you can see here this one is on midground. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. This sky -2, sky -1. Okay, yeah, this is really dumb. I am using negative values. Okay, that's well, I don't know. I think I'm going to well, let me just go ahead now. Well, I don't know. Oh man, this is so stupid. So what I'm thinking is that I was going to set the proper number that needs to be here. So I'm not going to use negative numbers, but all of these are not the final thing that is going to be here in the actual scene. So I think there's no point for me to bother with this right now. But what I think I should do is check, for example, this -2, -1. Okay, so I know that planets okay, can go from 0 to 3, I think. Then this one, what is this? Midground. This is already in a different layer, so I can just go here and just set them to different layers. Now, this is not great because the way I think about this is I don't know, is that since they are in the same plane, I think, oh, okay, so they should be in the same plane, like in the sorting layer, okay? But no, that's not how it works for the pixelator system, okay? So yeah, I'm just going to set the actual numbers here. I'm going to set this one to 0, this one to 1, this one to 2, that's correct, and then this one to 3, okay? And that's going to be it. That's great, okay? Now, when I hit play, I should be able to see each one of the planets with the correct sprite. Okay, let's see right now what happens. Okay, so for example, if I go now to the background planes and go to background 3, now we have 2 planets. Well, this is really interesting. You can see there, like there's like one down there and this one is there. So let's check this. They should be related to, yeah, they are perfectly positioned in the scene, so that's amazing. Now if I go to one of them, okay, this one is the green one, whatever, and then this other one, okay, this is a bit different. Now, is this correct though? They are really similar, so I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if this is not working properly. So also, why is there like, oh, because this system is going to create the pixelator either way, so okay, whatever. So this is that, this one, and this one. Oh yeah, So that's correct. They are pretty similar just because like that's a really big coincidence. That's it. But the system is now fixed. So now we have the both planets. Okay. We can see them there. And that's amazing. Okay. That's pretty good. So we have fixed the thing. Okay. Now this is fixed. Okay, so now we can proceed to the next thing. Okay. So I can go ahead here and I can just mark this one as complete, and I'm going to keep working on this, which is the planetary system map. Okay. Track starship position. Okay, so this one is going to be a bit tricky. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Let's see how we can do this. So we can close this. Well, yeah, this. All of this code should go in like another class. This is in generators, planet sprite generator. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to refactor a lot of things here for how planets get generated, but yeah. Well, this is the sprite, only the sprite. So all of these settings are just for setting the actual sprite, like the shader, the textures and the colors and all that. Okay. So let me close this here. Let me close this, and now that's not good. Planetary system map. Okay. So I will have to lower my camera, I think, again, because I'm much lower now. Like that. Maybe not that much. That's maybe a bit better. The thing is, when I do this, it's going to... Well, it is what it is. So let's see. We have the this is just for toggling, okay, whatever. Now in it, okay, this is basically going to say, okay, orbits handler initialize, and that's going to initialize the planets inside the orbits, okay, and the orbits themselves. Okay, so there's that. And we also need to initialize the actual player position. And well, I could do a couple things. I could do a new script, which is like, for example, player tracker, position tracker, or something like that. But for now, I'm just going to do it here. Okay, so I'm just going to say astronaut starship. Doesn't work. So astronaut starship. What? Well, maybe I should say starship. Whatever. So starship, and starship. I'm going to grab this reference from, well, it's going to be from planetary system dot astronaut starship. Now, why is this not working? Starship system. Oh, that's why. Okay. So, starship system, perfect. Now we have the astronaut starship. Okay, we have the reference there. In fact, I could just say planetary system dot astronaut starship. It's not a big deal. But now what I need is to basically use the update function. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new region here. I'm going to go to update. Okay, And here I'm going to create a new method. Okay, I'm going to say track astronaut position. Okay. So what I need to do is basically also set this as active or not. So if this is not active, then I shouldn't do anything. Okay, that's perfect. And when we initialize it, when we toggle it, I should set active to whatever thing it is, okay? That's perfect. So now, after we initialize the thing and blah, 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 we know that the astronaut starship is going to be spawned, and with all the initialization and all of that things. Okay, so now when we want to track the astronaut position, I also need another thing. Okay, so let's okay, this one is tricky. So for this I need to have image, but it would be rect transform. So astronaut marker. Okay, so we have this, and what we are going to do basically, okay, is okay. Okay, so I'm thinking about a couple things, okay? Let me show you really quick. So, yeah, this is going to be tricky because, let me hit play here. It's going to be tricky because, well, this one is really interesting. Because when I track the astronaut position, it has to be relative to the actual position of the planets, okay? And like the position of the planets is not, planets are not in the same plane as the starship. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we have this planet, for example, right? Okay, so this planet is here. Well, let's grab like this one that's closer, okay? So let me check. Yeah, this is working fine. Wow, this one looks really, really cool. So, for example, this planet, okay? This planet is in 18.5 and minus 59, blah, 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 okay? So you would say, okay, if I move the starship to that position, okay, then the starship is going to be pretty close to the planet, okay? Right? That's how it works. Well, let me tell you, that's not how it works at all. So, you can see here, I moved the starship, okay? Now the starship is moved, but the planet is still really far away. And why is that? Well, that's because I'm using parallax systems for the planets, okay? For the different planes in the scene. And those parallax systems, those planes are moving like at a different rate in the camera, okay? So that when you move with the starship, you can see different planes moving at different speeds. That's basically parallax, okay? That's basically what I'm doing. Some parallax systems. Movement, sorry. So, how do I know the actual position of the planet relative to the actual position of the starship? Like there's like a relativity between both planes. So the starship is like in this plane and the planets are like here, for example. And the positions, like the world positions here, don't relate exactly to where each object is, okay? That's the idea. So what do I have to do for this to work? Okay, so basically what I need to do is I have a formula for calculating this, but it's basically just the z value of the plane divided by 2. So for example, let me just move the starship to 0, 0, okay? So if I want to go to this planet is in this position, and if I multiply that by 12, which is 24 divided by 2, so I multiply this by 12, now you can see the actual position that's relative to the plane where the starship is, okay? So if I set this position to the x component of the starship, now what you will see is that the starship is perfectly aligned in the x-axis with the planet. You can see the planet down here, and the starship is here, okay? So it moved all the way to the right, and now it's aligned. So now the other thing I have to do is do the same thing for the y-axis, okay? So if I multiply this by 12, it's going to be minus 7, blah, 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 okay? So now if I set this position to the starship, now you can see that the starship is exactly on top of the planet, okay? So that's it, basically. That's basically what I was trying to do, okay? So, basically, let me drink some water. So basically what's happening now is that if I want to track the actual position of the starship, I need to do it like in relation to the plane where the planets are, okay? And that's fine because I basically plan to have everything in the same plane, okay? Like, for example, if I were to set, like, I don't know, let's say I want to position like a space station somewhere, everything is going to go in the same background plane, okay? All of the things that are instantiated, like I don't know, like space stations or asteroids, or like, I don't know, maybe floating islands or stuff where you can go to and land on, are going to be in this same plane, okay? So all I need to do is use the same relation I was using, which is multiplying the position of the starship by this value divided by 2, okay? That's it. That's basically it. So how can I do that? Okay, so for that I need a couple things, okay? So here I have to set it, okay? I have to set the tables.universe.background plane. So I have to create a variable to basically keep track of which plane the actual things are on, okay? So I I don't know what name to set it to. So so it's not objects plane, it's more like planets plane. Okay. Yeah, and it's not only planets plane, because it's all like, also it's for other things, not only planets, but that's whatever, it doesn't matter. So so I could even like set the star in the same plane, because right now the star is in like a further plane, just because it looks better like that. But maybe I should like move it to the same plane so that everything is like cohesive. So like when you're moving, I don't know, I'm just going to check that. So what I need to do is use this, which has a value. So you can see they have values, okay? And I can cast this as an int to get the value, the actual value, and then I can multiply that basically. Well, yeah. Or I can do this. I can use this too. So yeah. For that, I just need to do a couple things. Okay, I'm going to go here. I need to create some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of let me go here and just create a new file. It's going to be not this, it's going to be a new file. It's going to be 16 by 16. I think that's even more than what I need, but it's okay. So I'm going to do I don't know what to do. Maybe I could do something like this. So then how would it look when you rotate it? Yeah, it looks really weird. So what if I use rot sprite? Yeah, it does the same thing. So so I was thinking about using this for like the starship position, but I don't know. I don't know if I should use something smaller, something bigger. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, let me just in fact, I'm not going to use it like this. I will need to do this, and I will need to make it 15 by 15 so that it's that like the pixel is centered. Okay, so reset symmetry. Okay, and now I can do this. Okay. And this doesn't look awesome, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. So yeah, I should maybe use a square. I don't know. Yeah, let me just make a square for this, and yeah, I'm thinking what can I use to represent the actual position of the starship. I don't know, man. But yeah, I could do something like this, for example. I could do something like this, but I don't know, that feels like a selection. Hey Ciala, how you doing? What's up? So maybe I could do something like this, but it feels like I said, it feels like a selection. So I'm thinking about doing this for now. Going to save this. Where can it go? UI, I think. Yeah. UI scripts. Oh, where did I save the planetary system map? Systems? Nope. Let's see, where did I save the script for planetary system map. Where? Well, I think I shouldn't. Well, it's under HUD, so I think I should just export this under HUD, maybe. I don't know. Let's just do it here. That's completely fine. Starship marker, okay, that's, I don't know, that's good for now. So now I can close this. It's going to be a placeholder. We can of course improve it later, whatever, so all good. But now I need to, oh yeah, I didn't export it. That's great. So I need to export it like this, export. There we go. We have the sprite now. So right here, I need to have a new thing, okay, which is going to be an image. So we're going to say image, and this is going to be star astronaut. Astronaut starship marker, and this should go above everything, okay? Of course. Now I set this there. I should do this like looking at this, okay. So this is how big it is. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Is it like yeah, I think it's going to be fine. So I can just set it to 0. Okay. Now, what's the thing with this? Well, I should set it like a special color too. So maybe green or red. Maybe red is too, like, it can be really mixed up with the background. So maybe green is good. Yeah, I think green is fine. Now there's that. Okay. Now I should move this there. And so there's something weird with this UI generic panel. The thing is, this is not centered like the UI orbits. You can see like there's a lot of space down here. And this is correct because it's the same space there, but there's a shadow here just for like how the design of the panel is, which is great, but it I don't know, whatever. So I think what I should do is basically just grab this and like subtract 2 there, and now it's going to look a lot more centered. Now it's bigger, and that's not great, but maybe I could do it the other way around, maybe. So maybe I can just say 2 here and 4 at the bottom. That could work. Let's see. Yeah, that could work. Maybe 1 and 1, like 1 and 3 maybe. Yeah, I think that's better. So so now that we have the marker or whatever name it can have, now I can add this like the reference here, and now this is the thing. It's going to be a bit tricky because for example, there's a couple things to have in mind, okay? The actual positions of the planets, like the orbits you can see here, are like squished, okay? They are not like perfectly circular, And that's just because I want it to look like this. But the thing is, we need to make it respect. What the hell is this? Get the hell out of here. Okay, thank you. So, I need the minimap to respect the actual positions of the planets that are not being positioned in like the same way that the actual things are. Like the actual orbits in the panel, okay, here, they have a different size, like they are not perfectly circular, so that means that when the starship moves vertically, Duck Microsoft and Copilot, yeah. So that was like, was it like the AI from Microsoft? So what I need to do here is basically, yeah, it was. Well, that's weird. I never used it. Like I know it is in the browser, like in Edge, and I use Edge. I don't use Chrome or any other browser because I don't know. I just have Edge and it's fine. And it is like in the corner, but I never used it. And I know Windows 11 maybe has it too. I don't know. But anyways, I need to make the starship move, like when it moves vertically. Well, the marker vertically is going to be like in less proportion than horizontally. Okay, so we could say that maybe it's like half. I don't know. We're going to try some numbers and see what works, because the thing is the actual orbits are drawn by hand. Okay, they are not made like with using, I don't know, a formula or a shader or anything. They are basically just sprites. Yeah, that's the thing. It looks natural, and I could do it by using math and just using shaders. And that would be the most accurate thing, because I could use the same like minor axe and the same major axe sizes to determine like when the starship is moving, like I could use those values to determine how much it should move vertically and also horizontally. Why don't you use math to generate the lines so you have a reference? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could do that, but I think it's a lot of work, and it could be worth it, but I don't know. First, I want to try this, how it works, and if this doesn't work, like using this and trying the actual numbers, like the reference numbers for the movement of the starship, I want to try it like by hand, like if that works. And if it gets too complicated, maybe then I would consider like making them with math. But for now, this is the fastest way. And yeah. And I'm also using shaders for a lot of things, so I want to try to reduce the amount of shaders I'm using. If you keep the planet system, the plane's system's size as the minimap. Oh yeah. So yeah, you're saying that basically the yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, the actual size of this space is square, is one by one, or yeah, the relation is 1 to 1. But here you can see it's, of course, it's not 1 to 1. Like the representation here is using a different ratio, just because it looks better. I don't know if I want to have like a square here. Maybe it doesn't look bad, but I want it this way. It is one, you're going to change it to 2 by 1. Well, what I'm going to change is the map ratio, not the actual scene ratio. So how the planets are positioned in the scene is using like a perfect ratio of 1 to 1. So basically, for example, let me just do a drawing here. So you can see this is not an accurate representation of the scene, because the scene in reality is going to look like this. Like, it's like you're looking at the orbits perfectly from above, okay? So it's perfectly circular, okay? Pretend this is a circle, okay? But yeah, that's the idea. So instead of looking at it like from a perspective, from an angle, this looks like it's being captured isometrically. So this is not perfectly from the top, okay, top down. But this is just a drawing to represent, to do a representation of what I want to do in the scene. But the actual scene works like this. It's like, yeah, it's 1 to 1. So basically the actual radius of each orbit is 750 units multiplied by the number of the orbits. So the orbit 1 is 750, then the second one is 750 multiplied by 2, and then this is by 3, and this is by 4. Okay, that's basically it. So the distance is going to be always the same. It's going to be 750 no matter which direction you go to, okay? That's the radius of all of the orbits. So if I want to go from here there, it's going to be 750 multiplied by 2. That's the distance, okay? It's always the same distance. But in the actual minimap, do you want to keep the minimap like it is generated by a projection? Yeah. So I want the minimap to be like this. It's just like a stylistic choice. So the minimap, of course, is not a square. Like, it's not perfectly 1 to 1. This is more like, I don't know, maybe it's 1, 2. I don't know. But you can see that maybe it is 1 to 1 in the x-axis, but in the y-axis it's a lot smaller. So I should move the things should be moving at a slower rate vertically. So when I'm representing the astronaut position, like the starship position here, if the starship moved horizontally like 1 unit, here is going to move 1 unit. But if it moved 1 unit vertically in the scene, okay, if the starship moved like 1 unit vertically, here is going to move 0.5, for example. So I think that's going to do the trick. Devil advocates idea, use a 3D camera and a subscreen per frame, or whatever it is called in Unity. 3D camera. What's Devil Advocates? Is that a game? I don't really know that. A subscene? You know what's funny? I was watching like another stream today from another 3D subscene. Yeah. I think I know what you're referring to. So I was watching a stream from another dev that I follow. And I always watch the streams because he's really awesome. And a person, so he was talking about his 2D game, and his game is not procedural, it's like a linear game, but it has like a lot of scenes, okay? So basically it's like he has rooms, okay, and the rooms can look like this, and you have the door here and another door here, and when you enter this door you go to the next room, which could look like this, for example, and then you have like maybe like a vertical one like this. Okay, so basically when you go from one when you enter a door, you go to the next room, and like a viewer was asking why he didn't make like a minimap of this using another camera. Okay, because the actual scene, like making a minimap of the room, it was of the room. So imagine this is the ground and you have some platforms here that you can jump to. Okay, and you can, like, I don't know, maybe there's a chest here, I don't know. So you have some geometry here. Okay, and the viewer was suggesting that the streamer could use a camera to capture all of this. Okay, so maybe there's the player is here, for example, imagine, and you have the camera that looks at the player and follows and blah blah blah. But the viewer said, okay, but make a camera that's this big, okay, and looks at the whole thing, at the whole scene, and create a map out of that. And you just grab all of that and just make it smaller, and you have a mini map. Okay. So yeah, and there was like a whole discussion of why that wasn't really like performant or like optimal for performance. And yeah, basically he said that he could like bake the actual collision information of the stage of the room and just send that information to a texture, and that's it. You bake the whole minimap once, instead of having a camera that's rendering all of, like, every frame, rendering all of the scene. So that was the discussion there, and it's really interesting because I think you're suggesting something similar, like not the same thing. I know you're like saying a sub scene, like a sub scene that's 3D, and I could rotate the thing so that it has perspective. But I think like I can do that in Unity, but I think it's a lot of work because I would need to track well, there's one thing, and that is that everything here is 2D and not using 3D. Yeah, it's almost the same. And like, that's not a bad strategy, but maybe for this game it's a bit weird, because I will have to grab the whole scene and rotate it, because, well, no, the thing that's going to be rotated is the camera, but low poly 3D scene, yeah, that's a lot of work. What I could do, like, I can go into 3D mode here in Unity. Okay, I'm really far away from everything, but yeah, you can see here. Okay, for example, so you can see the actual things are positioned. Yeah, they are spheres and they are basic shapes, but I think that it will be easier to just do the thing I'm about to do, which is just grab the actual position of the starship. Okay, grab the position and just multiply it by the ratio of this, and that's it. I think that's much easier and faster, because otherwise I would need to basically create like a yeah, I think I would need to create, I don't know, maybe a what's the name, like well, 3D models, and I would need to go to another program and export 3D models, or maybe I could download them. But yeah, I think that's I don't know. It's a interesting idea, but I think I'm aiming towards the fastest thing right now. So let's try this, and we'll consider doing that if this doesn't work. I think that's what I should do. So basically, for this, all I need to say is just astronaut starship or marker the anchored position equals new vector 2. So it's going to be vector 2.0. Okay. But now I'm going to say marker post.x is going to be the actual x position of the marker is. So yeah, I have to map all that to this actual size of this. So let's see. Yeah. I think it should work. So this goes all the way to this. So this should be like the furthest thing. Now, where is this supposed to go? Is it supposed to go here? Yeah, I think it's there. So 48, okay. 48 in the x-axis. Okay, so I can say map width is going to be 48, and the map height is going to be let's see, here is going to be 20. Okay, is it 20? 21. So I'm going to use that as a reference for the positions of the thing. So it's 21. Okay. So then marker position.x is going to be I'm going to map the actual position of the starship. Okay. And well, I think I don't even need to do the ratio thing and all that because, well, I don't know. Let's see. So I can just basically say utilities.map helpers.remap, and I'm going to remap the astronaut. Yeah, I need to grab the actual starship position. So do I have like starship.position.census? Where can I? Starship system. Oh yeah, I need to access this. Yeah, slow down. So this and then position. Also not there. Starship isometric. Starship is an entity. How do I get the position of an entity? Is it on census? I think it's on census. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I can make it like I don't know. I can just say position transform.position. Okay, that's it. And then I can say starship position.x. That goes from let's go to tables, and here I should have some, like in here in planetary system table, orbit base radius. Worst case scenario, we need a view matrix and a projection matrix. Yeah. In which case I'm totally lost because I kind of know how matrices work, but yeah, I'm not totally familiar with them, but yeah, whatever. So this end is going to be farthest orbit is going to be orbit base radius multiplied by tables dot can I do system enum the values, get values of so I can say this, get values of tables.universe.background plane. No, it's not that. Is star table star dot planets max dot length. Oh, I can't use it. Why can't I use it? Oh yeah, because it's not it's so dumb. I can use this and I don't need to do that. So I can, so basically the orbit, the farthest orbit is going to be this, which is the base radius, multiplied by how many maximum amount of planets there are. Okay, so that means that if there's going to be 7 planets, then there's going to be 7 orbits, 7 possible orbits, and the farthest orbit is going to be always the 7th one. But in this case, it's 4 planets, so that's great. And now I can say it goes from 0 to goes from 0 to the tables dot table planetary system dot farthest orbit. Okay, and I'm going to remap this to go from 0 to map width. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the y value, map height, and it should work. It should basically work. I think it should already work. So let's see. Will I get it first try? That would be interesting. So let's see. So it should be in the first, like when we start, it should be at 0, 0. That's perfectly correct. But now, as we start moving, it should move, but you can see that it moves really, really slowly. Okay. So if I start moving in hyperspeed, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see it's moving. That's amazing. And in fact, you know what? We should get to this planet really soon. So you can see, like, it's taking like a couple seconds. I really like it. I really like how it takes like some amount of time to get to the planet. Now, the planet should be somewhere around here, and I'm not sure. Let's see. This is really good, man. Okay. I can't seem to find the planet, but it should be around here. But yeah, can we add some zoom out functionality? Oh, you're saying like zooming out here? Like something like this, for example. Let me go to this scene. And well, the answer is we can, but the thing is, I don't know if I want to. That's the thing. So I can do this. So if we want to see like a, yeah, in fact the planet is right there. So I was really close. I was really close to the planet, but yeah. So we can do this, which is basically zooming out or in, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. I can do that. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. Okay, something broke here. Enough to show the error in the math. Oh yeah, just are you saying like not in the game, in the actual game, but just here so that we can see. Yeah, of course. Just for debugging, that's going to be easy. I can do that easily. So let's see. I'm going to increase this, okay, so that it's farther away so we can see more. And now I'm going to go towards that planet. Okay. So it seems like the planet maybe is somewhere around here. Oh, it's really far. Oh yeah, but you know what? It's correct because vertically we're moving a lot slower. So yeah, let's see now with the zoom completely out. Yeah, I think the math is fine. So okay, I don't know. I don't think you can notice it, but I'm going to show you right now how this looks. So the actual marker is like right inside the planet. Yeah, the minimap is too pixelated. So can I do this? So you can see here, the starship is right on top of the planet. Okay. And yeah, I don't know if you can see it, or maybe it would be easier if I go, if I do it here. So where's this? So here, now you can see that's the actual position of the starship. And as you can see here, it is right on top of the planet. So there's something that's not completely accurate here. So yeah, I don't really know, like, because the thing is that let's travel north. So yeah, I would go there first. Okay, so let's go there. Let's go to that planet. So I'm just going to start moving to that direction and go that way. Okay, so you can see it's going towards the planet, but we can't really see it now. Now we see it, okay. And now I can go here and I can get close to the planet, okay. And now I'm basically here, really close to the planet. Okay, I'm practically practically on top of the planet. And let's see how it looks like in the minimap. So here it looks exactly perfect, you can see. And I know why this is the case, okay? Yeah, so this is perfect. Now, thank you. So, now the thing is, this is not going to work perfectly for... Also, why is this shaking like this? It's really weird. Is this moving? What's happening? I don't know. It's really weird. Is it because I'm really far away from the... I don't know. Well, it's not moving here. Well, it is. Why is it doing that? It's really weird. Huh. Oh, you know what? I think it's because the camera, yeah, the values are changing, and that's because the starship is not actually completely stopped. I think the velocity of the starship is basically like really tiny. Starship engine, turn it off, it will stop shaking. Yeah, you know what, it literally is that. So let me show you here. If I go to the properties of the rigid body, yeah, sleep state is awake, sleep, awake, sleep, awake. So I think that's because yeah, I know why that's the case. Starship, not there. Idle, I think it is. So, if velocity, exactly, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to do. So yeah, set force, and here if senses velocity dot magnitude is less than math dot epsilon, which is a really tiny number, then I'm just going to say senses dot velocity dot set velocity 0 or vector 2 dot 0. Make it bigger. You think I should make it bigger? 0.0001? Yeah, I could. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should use that value, because maybe epsilon is too tiny. So maybe I would even do that, because at this point you're not gonna even notice that it stopped. So yeah. Okay, that should work. Perfect. So okay, great. So in fact, you know what, I should do this automatically inside like the actual, like this. I should do it here so that it not only limits the velocity that way, I think it should do this and that. Inside the input handler, no. Inside the senses, which is the one, like, is the class that handles the force and the impulse and the velocity and the limit velocity and blah blah blah. So this function is basically limiting the velocity, the maximum velocity that the starship can go, so that it doesn't get bugged. So for example, imagine like a starship like bumps into your starship. Well, that wouldn't happen because I won't allow for starship to collide. So there's not going to be physical interactions. But it can happen that maybe something happens and the velocity gets increased like crazy, and then the starship goes in like to Narnia. I don't know. So yeah. So that's why I'm clamping the velocity. And inside here, since this is running every frame, then I'm just setting it to 0 when it gets to the really tiny value. So that's great. I should do it. Now, I was explaining something that is a bit important. Oh, and it's already been an hour and 40 minutes. That's crazy. So let me hit play here and let me show you something. So when we go to this planet that's really close, okay, also I think that 3 seconds here is too much, so I'm just going to set it to 1 second. Give me one moment. And I already have been thinking about moving this logic for when I hold the button to go into hyperspeed. So this should be in a separate state, I think, but whatever. So so this should be like 1 second, because it's really annoying to press the button for like hours until it starts moving. So yeah. Okay. Let's hit play. Now there's a couple of things I'm not loving about this. honestly. So, oh yeah, look at this. There's a 2-planet star, and the orbits are like the closest one, and there's the farthest one. Okay, so when I go to this planet, okay, you can see that I'm like literally on top of the planet, and I can't even notice where I am. So thing number one, I think I should change the color of the marker. Okay. UI. Now, which color should I use? I can go for like a really dark color, but I don't know if that's going to work. Then I could go for like I don't know, a darkest blue, or maybe a darker green should work even. Maybe this one. You can see there, like the starship is pretty close to the planet, so there's something I don't really like, and that's like here you can see I'm literally on top of the planet, and I'm not even seeing it here. On that purple, pink, how about black? Yeah, it could work. So okay, let's move it like well, in fact, you know what? I'm thinking about doing something else. Give me one moment. I'm going to, not this. This is the thing I did for like the actual position. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But the thing is, if I'm going to do like a triangle, let's say I do something like, I don't know, this, okay, or even bigger maybe. So like this, for example. I don't know. Imagine something like this, okay? In fact, well, yeah, that's fine. Something like this, okay? This is ugly, but the thing is, when it rotates, it's going to look really weird. So yeah, that's why I didn't want to do a triangle, because I don't know if I want to rotate the thing in the actual map. Now, I can rotate it without it being pixel perfect. So it is not pixel perfect here. So I can rotate it like this and the pixels don't go crazy. But the thing is, I don't like rotated pixels like this. Like, even though my game is not pixel perfect, there's like some limitations I won't like cross. Because like rotating pixels like this, I really don't like it. And I'm trying to avoid that in all of the assets of the game. So it will look really weird if this rotated, but nothing else in the game rotates like this. So yeah, that's why I don't want to use a triangle. But I can use something different, like for example, like a, I don't know, let's get crazy here. So maybe I can do something like this. I don't know. Yeah, so something that represents the actual position of the starship. What can it be? So maybe, I don't know, a square with a color 2 by 2 point for the head. So this is a square. Do you mean like a bigger square like this? And maybe something like that? Yeah, the other thing I could do is use something I already have in the game, which is I think no, it's not this one. Where's this? Sprites UI indicator. Oh yeah, it's inside this thing. So I can use this. And this even has a shadow. So I could use this and make it green. Okay. And now this can like inform the actual position of the starship. So I could use that. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Let me try something because it might work. Maybe it could work if I use like a triangle like that, like this. So let me just do this. I'm going to do. So this is what I have, okay? And maybe it doesn't look that bad if I rotate this in the minimap, but not pixel perfectly. So I don't know, let's try this. Let's try this. Now the thing is, it still is very like hard to notice where the hell this is. Can I add a shadow to this? Yeah, I can. But if I rotate it, yeah, the shadow's rotating with this. So I don't really like that. Because the shadow should be always like in the same place. That's what makes it look a bit weird. So for now, let's try using like a dark, like white. Maybe white could work. Maybe if I make the planets a bit darker. Let's go for a placeholder. We will polish it in a month. Yeah, we could do that definitely. So so let me see, because I have this thing, okay, and I could even use this. Let me set the pivot to 0. Okay, so is it center? Yeah, so pivot. Okay, that's not great, so it should be 0.35, 0.31. Yeah, that's correct. And now let's make it, instead of red, I want it to be green. This green is cool. It's nice. Well, maybe I can make it the lightest green because it looks really nice. So now I'm just going to use this, and you're going to see what this is in a minute. So, oh, I'm so dumb. I never. Well, I didn't need this, so that's why. Whatever. Let me just go here and remove this because I'm not even using it. Okay. White kills in a good way. Maybe white is good, yeah. Because maybe I want to use like other colors for points of interest, maybe. So yeah, maybe white is like it's enough. It's good enough. So let me show you really quick what this is. So this is an indicator I made, and you can see that it's jumping all the time. So it has like an animation, okay? So if I move, you can see that the indicator is going to move all the time to where I go, but it's jumping so that it's indicating where we are. And in the thing. So now I think I should use, what if color is configurable? Yeah, it is, actually it is. I could even use like a shader so that when it goes in front of a planet, it changes color so that it's always like high contrast. But yeah, I don't know, I'm not using that now. So now I could use this with something inside. Okay, so not only this, but also I could add like another image, and let's make it 1 1. So what happens if I do this? So that will be the actual position of the thing. It jumps too frequently. Yeah, maybe it's a bit annoying. But I don't know, maybe 2 and 2, so this is like a bigger pixel. I think this could work, actually. Yeah, maybe it's good for now. Yeah, that's not bad at all, I think. So I'm going to do that because it's this, I don't know, the thing that works for now. Pixel, I'm going to call it pixel. And I'm going to set it to, oh yeah, I want to adjust this a little bit so that this shouldn't be like that. It should be like lower. So like 25, yeah. And you know what, even less than that could be better, because I actually want to set this to the position of the pivot of this. So let's set it to 0 there. And now I'm going to move this to minus, I don't know what is, 5, 4, 6. Yeah, I think that's better. And now I need to set it to this color, and I'm going to create a shadow for this, which is going to be at 1 and minus 1. Well, it should be the other way around. That's annoying. So I can do this. This is going to be easier. And now I can move this there and there and set it to black. So now both things have a shadow, but oh yeah, that's the thing that's not working properly. Now it looks like an exclamation point. I don't know if I like it. So, well, I could use the actual thing I did before. And what? It's a native size. Oh, I'm so dumb. I changed it. So I should do this and just save it and export it again. And I should go soon, so yeah. Okay, maybe this works. I'm not sure. So yeah, I don't think this looks right. So I'm just going to do this again. And let's go and hit play again and let's see how it looks. I think it's not bad, but I don't know. So yeah, you can see your actual position now. And when I start moving like this, Okay. Okay, now if I want to go like there, soundtrack is awesome. Yeah, it's a very, very good music. This one is from Comic Zone, from the Sega Genesis. It's a really, really good game. So I should be near the planet, but I can't see it here. So where is it? So that's the thing I'm not really loving. Yeah, it's really far away from here, so it's like really far down. Let's see. If I do this. Now, where am I? Am I close? Kind of. Now I'm there. And you can see like I'm actually like not in the dead center of the sprite, which is, I don't know. Like, it's not bad, but yeah, I don't know. I should like think about a solution for this, because it's really, really hard to find the actual position of the planet. And yeah. Zoom out. So yeah, I could zoom out, but there's one problem with that. So let's say I zoom out like this. I do like a really, really big zoom out. So this is the zoom out I did. This is a really big zoom out, okay? But the thing is, let me show you. Let me show you this. So you can see now the planet is not even on screen. But guess what? Here. Hey Kilo, welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So here you can see the planet is not even on screen, but the actual like the starship position is showing like as if we are on top of the planet, like already there. And yeah, that's not even though I zoomed out like a lot, like this is the normal zoom, but I zoomed out like quite a bit and we can't even see it here. Projection view matrix. No, the thing is, the problem is different. Like what's happening is planets are really, really far away, and the actual like this space is really small, so we cannot represent stuff in their actual position. Okay, so is the error vertical only? No, the error is also horizontal. So it's not like a math problem, it's a design problem. So yeah, it's not easy to fix. So yeah, the thing is, the parallax plane, yeah, it's kind of that, but not quite. So you see how like the starship is there, okay? The starship is represented by like a pixel, okay? And the planet is covering like a lot of space, okay? So the problem here is you can see like I started moving, okay? And I have to move a lot of distance for this pixel to move like just one little bit. If I use the hyperspeed, it starts moving a lot, okay? And that's great. But the thing is, like the problem here is that it's like the actual sprite that represents the planet here is representing a lot of space. It's like this shouldn't be this big. The planet should be like a pixel so that it's represented correctly. So let me show you. If I go ahead now, and I should go soon, but yeah, let me just show you this really quick so you can see what I'm trying to say. So if I make all of the planets just a little pixel, okay, it's a native size, so you can see now each planet is 1 pixel. Well, is in reality it's like a 2 by 2 pixel, but let's pretend this is just 1 pixel. You can see now I'm like the starship is the white pixel. But now if I start moving to the planet, okay, now it's going to be much more accurate, okay? In fact, it's not even accurate. But like you can see now, well, look at this. I'm a lot more like below the actual position of the planet in the pixel here. And it looks like in the game I'm actually like there in the actual position of the planet. So what I'm trying to say is in the minimap the objects should be like a lot smaller so that they are represented more accurately. Because if I make, so now you can see the planet is really big, it's really small there, okay? And the thing is, if I make the planet like, if I set this to be like a planet sprite like bigger, for example, I don't know, this one, which is the one that we're using, now it's like, it looks like the planet is covering like a lot more space. So in reality, if it looks like this here, it should also be a lot bigger here in the scene too. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I do this, now it looks like we're on the planet, okay? Because it's a lot bigger and I have to move like a lot of distance, okay? Even here, the planet is really big and I didn't even move outside of the planet in the map. So yeah, I have to think of like a different solution for this. I will have to think about a different solution for this. So yeah, I don't really know. I think that well, there's a couple solutions I could do, and I'm thinking of right now a couple solutions that could work. Okay, so let me go here and do like a little drawing to show you what I'm thinking of. So for example, let's say this is the actual game, okay, and you have the starship here, okay, and the stars and whatever, okay, and you have the minimap here. I think what we could do is basically something where you open up like another thing, but this is like an extra step. I think it's fine. I think it should be fine, but I don't know. So imagine like you have like an extra menu, okay, where you can see there the actual orbits and the planets, okay? So you have this and you have this and this, okay? So the planets there and blah blah blah. So, and then here we would have the thing that the marker that's indicating where you actually are, okay? So we would have something like this that's indicating where you are here in the actual scene. Okay, we could use something like this, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But let's say we use like this thing to show you where you are right now. And here in this menu, you can basically just select one of the planets. Okay, select one, you highlight the planet and press a button to travel. Okay, so then you hit this button and then this menu closes up. Okay, it's closed, and then the starship will rotate automatically to that direction and then start hyper driving to that planet. So it will be like a lot more automatic, and that's something I didn't want to do because yeah, it would work, and that's something similar to what I had before. So let me show you what I actually had before. Now is the moment that you say, oh, that's a lot cooler than what it is now. But yeah, let me show you really quick. And yeah, planetary system. So this is what I had before. Okay, the star field. When you found a constellation, you can see it here. There's a constellation, and you could select one of the stars. And when you selected the star, there was this like the orbits. Okay, and the planets. Like there was this little animation of the planets rotating in the orbit. Okay, and then when you select travel, you go to the star. You can also use an arrow in the HUD. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about. So this is how the planetary system looked like before. Okay, so you had this animation, and when you enter the star, the actually planetary system, this is how it looked like. And from here, if you wanted to go to any planet, like you couldn't navigate with the starship. It was like just a menu. We need to restore the hyperspeed effect. Oh yeah, of course. Like when you enter hyperspeed, now I want this to happen. Okay, the flash and the vibration and all that. Of course, I'm going to do that, but right now we are in like the prototyping phase. So the only way you could go to another planet, like here, you cannot control the starship. Like the starship is there and that's it. And if you wanted to go to another planet, you had to press. Well, it's not here. Where's the video where I actually show that? Oh yeah, it's here. So you can see here the constellation, blah blah blah. This is not like, the game is not like this anymore. Okay, so you enter the planetary system, and now when you want to go to another planet, to any planet, you open up this, which is the planetary system terminal. Okay, and here you can select any of the planets. Okay, and when you select what planet, you hit travel, and then the ship goes like automatically there, and then you're in orbit of this planet. Okay, so that's what I had before. But I didn't really like it because I want the free space exploration thing. So in this, like, this is like side view, and there's not like an easy way to do space navigation with this kind of view. You kind of need to go in every direction you want. So the closest thing to 3D navigation is like the thing I'm doing now, which is isometric, that lets you, is like the camera is like from above and you can rotate to many directions. So yeah, basically what I'm thinking now is one of the solutions would be to have this again, which I don't love the idea because I don't know. You can see there the planet is not on the orbit, but yeah, I don't really like having this again. Like, I would like to have menus in this scene, but for other things, not to navigate to a planet. I want for the game to feel like you can go like freely to a planet navigating yourself. I don't want to do that through menus. That's the thing. I want there to be gameplay. So I really like having this, what I have right now, where you can like navigate everything and you can go into hyperspeed and blah blah blah. But this, like, I have to think about a solution to the minimap. This is the whole problem with this. The minimap is not representing, like, there's not an easy way to represent things in the minimap using the actual tracking of the player. So another thing I could do is instead of actually tracking the actual position of the starship, I could do something like quantizing the space. And I don't know, maybe once you're like really close to a planet, so like let's say you go here and you enter this area where there's a planet. So now it looks like in the minimap, it looks like you're inside the planet or like on top of the planet, but in reality what it means is that you're in the area, like in the orbit of the planet. And what will happen there is that I would simply just add like an arrow, like you said, like add an arrow here that points where the actual planet is. Okay, so then you could navigate here like that and you would get to the planet like this. Okay, so that's basically what I'm thinking that could work. Really cursed. So yeah, that's the solution I'm going to try right now. So yeah, yeah, I think that could work. So did I close Unity? No, thank God. So yeah, so that's going to be the stream for today. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit late for me, so I have to go right now. But other than that, I think I can undo this. Arrow automatic to the closest planet. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking that could work. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add this. Now, track starship position, this is pretty much done. This is working. Now what I should do is add, and that is close as CCC distance. What does CCC distance mean? So yeah. Okay, done. It's a constant distance. Any planet less than 500 pixel. Yeah, we could use it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's perfect. I didn't know that triple C meant constant. I didn't know that, but yeah. So perfect. Thank you very much. And same for you too. Have a nice day. And thank you also everyone who watched today, everyone who chat and who checked out the stream. Thank you very much. Don't forget to join the Discord, okay? Join the Discord so you can get notifications there for when I go live, and you can also share anything you like from your drawings or art or maybe music or games you play, anything you want, you can share there. You're more than welcome. And yeah, so that's pretty much the stream for today, okay? Great. So thank you very much for checking out my stream today, and I will see you in the next stream, which is going to be on Friday, okay? See you on Friday. Oh, the music just stopped. That was a really good timing.